Fucking sick. All right. Looks like Twitch just starts on its own, maybe? I don't know. If you're on Twitch and you can hear me, give a shout out. I don't really know when all these like start up. It's my first time doing Twitch, and I've done YouTube before, so it looks like I think I'm live everywhere except Facebook maybe right now. Let's see here. Yeah, okay. Complete post details. I did that. Huh, Facebook's not starting up. 1 second, guys. I gotta fix another one of my streams. That's weird. I'm still having issues with one of my streams, so sorry, guys. I'll start playing in a minute. Just gonna go out here and say that setting up YouTube and Twitch is so much easier than setting up this Facebook one. As with Meta everything, it's just annoying. I'm almost there though. All right, dudes, I see we got 2 viewers over on Twitch already. That's pretty sick. Sorry about the wait on that. A lot of these other live stream programs are a lot easier. I had it like all set up last night and ready to go, and then I started to set things up this morning, and my Chrome session actually died for YouTube and Facebook, and I had everything like YouTube keeps all of your stream settings, right, from stream to stream, so it's really easy to just start a new stream again. But with Facebook, I had to set up the whole thing again, and I didn't really think to do that until, right now where it bit me in the face. So that's fun. On the plus side, I did already tune my instrument. So I'm going to start playing some music for y'all. Oh, and also, this is the most cursed-looking banana you've ever seen. I promised it didn't sit out on the shelf like this because it was in my fridge. It looks fine on the inside. Don't bully me about it. 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 Don't bully me about All right. Sorry, I had the Twitch window open on a different browser window, and I think it was passing the sound through to you guys to create a weird echo. So hopefully that's gone now. Anyway, that was Star of the County Down. I usually play it a little bit longer, but I noticed the issue with Twitch in my OBS session, so I was just like, I'm just going to fix it. Anyway, this next song is one of my own songs. It's called The Forest Nymph's Rebirth. Thanks to the couple folks who've joined the stream so far. I'm going to be going for, I don't know, probably like hour and a half, give or take. I got 24 songs to play, and we just did the second one. So we got a little ways to go. For those of you who don't know, I also do folk metal, and I released a new folk metal song today called The Last War. Check it out if you like some really, really crazy stuff. This next one is another traditional folk song. It's called After the Battle of Augerim. got somebody from France asking if I can do a solo on the bouzouki. I mean, I could like improv something real quick. I haven't written any solos that I remember. I did one for one of the Jared Dines challenges, but I don't know, maybe improv something in C major real quick. I don't know, I'm not the greatest at improv, but there's a little diddly for you. I've got a solo in the last song, actually, on the first set, so the 12th song. I do a cover of Wellerman. I've got like a composed solo there. I do a lot better with that type of stuff. But anyway, this next song is the Happy One Step. Thanks for the kind words, Jocelyn. I'm glad you enjoyed my little improv solo. Now is probably a good time to mention, Twitch, Facebook, whatever lets you send stars or whatever else on the platforms. Honestly, I spend more time playing music than I spend on social media, so I don't really know the terms for some of this stuff. But I've got tip jars in the comments and stuff too if you want to support me a little bit more directly. Or as I mentioned earlier, I've got a new song, The Last War, that was just released today. So, spinning that, it's free for you. And, they shoot me like a couple fractions of a penny. Spotify like takes a penny and they like chop it up into like 4 pieces and they mail me just like a quarter of it every time you play one of my songs. So, if you play it a couple of times, then like I get a whole penny. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, sarcasms aside, this one's Humors of Whiskey. I know I don't have a multi-chat plugin, but I just wanted to give a thank you to Jocelyn over on Facebook. I appreciate all the comments and the support over there. It's huge. The comments help. Everything. Every little bit of engagement always helps us artists out. So, it's always appreciated. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for your lungs. I'm going to say that every time. All right, this next one is the Irish lullaby. I think it's called Tooralooraloora, technically. I almost always mess this one up. I haven't played it live a lot. So when I do that, please don't judge me too much. me. I didn't mess it up that time. Very cool. Next up, we got a slightly sadder song. This one's King of the Fairies. To answer your question, Jocelyn, I do a little bit of vocals here and there, but I'm like a mediocre vocalist at best, honestly. So I usually leave it to better folks. I do mostly instrumentals for my live shows. But there are a couple songs I'll be doing vocals for. Those of you who know me super well know that I am a tremendous nerd, and there's one series that I particularly nerd out about more than like any other series, and that's One Piece. So here's a song from One Piece. Don't vape, kids. It's bad for your health. Anyways, some of you might have been playing the new Pokemon game like me. It's like, it's okay. I mean, it's better than the last like 2 or 3, but it's nothing like, you know, like Sun or Moon or God forbid Silver and Gold. Those were the best Pokemon games ever made. But I'm a Gen 1er, and I'll say the second gen was the best gen. But this next song is the Pokemon Center theme. Jocelyn, I'm sorry, I don't have any like drum beats on hand to like try to improvise over or anything like that. I'm not really one of the like looper improviser type folks. I have a tendency to just play the songs I've rehearsed for my gigs and all that sort of stuff. So these are songs that you'd see me playing at live shows and all that fun stuff. Though I've thought about incorporating a little bit of looper pedal just to be like, oh, I can record like this part and then like play over it or what have you. But for the most part, I practice stuff and then I play what I practice. I I'm not really huge on the improvisation scene. I don't really want to say too much more than that at risk of maybe saying something I shouldn't say. But this next song is another original. It's called Fight for Hope. Sorry, I got to hydrate up for this next one because, as promised, I got some vocals for you. If you're a big fan of Nathan Evans, you'll see that he, released a version of this traditional folk song a couple years back, and it really just blew up, and people genuinely didn't even know the folk song before then. And now a lot of people are sick of hearing the folk song, but that's just kind of how it works when something gets famous, right? Anyhow, this is the Wellerman. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of that ship was the Billy T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down, a blow me, bully boys blow. Soon may the Wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her done greed, and he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Da 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 da. For 40 days even more, the line went slack then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the weathermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The wellerman makes his regular call to urge the captain, crew and all. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the wellermen come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. It's probably a more chill vibesy version than the one that Nathan does, but I mean, I don't know. He just like hits the back of the guitar and tracks it for the whole time and then sings over it. So it's probably not too different, other than me adding the bouzouki and some instrumentals. I actually have a recording of that song that I did with my friend Mitchell Stackhouse on my Spotify, YouTube, all that fun stuff. So if you want to hear more of it, he does the vocals better than I do, I think. But I'm getting better at it. Little by little. Practice makes perfect, you know, as they say. So normally when I'm doing live shows, like out in the public, this would be where I would take an intermission. I would come back for the second set, but I don't really need an intermission. So we're just going to keep going. Well, other than the little intermissions that I take in between songs to talk to you guys and drink my coffee. This is coffee. I promise it's coffee. I know it doesn't look like coffee, but it's coffee. All right, to jump back into the nerdiness, I've got, looks like 4 nerdy songs for you guys in a row. So if you like anime and video games, these are for you. This first one is the Fairy Tale theme song, Power of Feeling. I know I complained a little bit at the beginning of the stream at how annoying it was to set up the Facebook stream, but man, I'm glad I did that because I got the most viewers over there. Any of you guys watching who are streamers, like, if you can multi-stream, this is totally the way to go. It took me a bunch of setup to figure out how to make the plugin and OBS work, but man, it's way better than just streaming to one thing, you know. Unfortunately, you guys don't get to see the interaction across streams. Maybe I'll work on that for next time, see if I can find like something to pop up comments or something like that. But I'm mostly playing music anyway, so more of a tune in, listen to music type channel, and, you know, gonna chat and debate with people. Unless you got something you want to debate about, then, like, I don't know, probably not still, because people can get touchy. But anyway, next song is from The Legend of Zelda. It is a song you'll probably recognize immediately if you know Zelda. Here's another one from Ocarina of Time. If you can't tell, Ocarina of Time is my favorite Legend of the Zelda game. And, you know, the music is phenomenal in all those games. I got one more Zelda song for you, but I'm going to step on the soapbox and talk about some stuff. Jocelyn asked if I could say a word in French, and I'm going to admit, I'm from the US, and as an American, we don't really learn languages from other countries because we're selfish. But that's not really entirely the reason, but it's just kind of true. But I know a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of German, This might come off as racist a little bit, so just forewarning you, but I will say a word that I think is French technically, sacre bleu. Like, I think that's technically French, right? Everybody knows that one. And yes, I'm better at guitar, honestly, than I am at this thing. My new song, The Last War, that just came out today, features a guitar solo in it with some really, really insane shredding. So check that out if you want to hear me shred some stuff. And I'll be playing that song live at some point in the near future. Right now, I've got the song's in C standard, so it's the only song in my set that's in C standard. I have another song I'm working on that's almost done. I literally just have to track the mandolin and do the final mix and master. And that song will be complete, and that's also in C standard. So in order to justify the whole rigmarole of doing an instrument switch mid-set without just like totally killing the vibes, I really need 2 songs in that tuning. So, but I will do folk metal performance at some point, probably, I don't know, maybe around March, maybe a little bit before that. It depends upon exactly when I get that second song done and all that sort of stuff. But I do have a metal gig out in Grand Rapids. I think it's March 21st at Mulligan's. So I will definitely have both songs done and practiced by then, because I need to have them done and practiced by then. There might even be a third song. I'm working on another one in C standard. I just don't know, when it's going to be done. But I'm a huge old school death metal fan. So C standard, drop C are, they're the ways to go, in my opinion, for the most part. But as you can see from all the instruments behind me, I've got instruments in all sorts of different tunings. The 7-string you can see behind me is in G sharp. So it's, really low and genty and all that fun stuff. I think I talked enough to be able to let my fingers rest a little bit. So this next song, believe it or not, is actually the hardest song I know on this instrument. It's hard to think that a Legend of Zelda song would be like that incredibly hard. But I actually took the piano arrangement of the original Zelda theme and I transcribed it to mandolin, or in this case, bouzouki. I'd keep it tuned to the same tuning as my mandolin. So this is the Legend of Zelda theme. Again, apologies if I messed this one up. It's probably the newest song, other than Tura Rula, that's in my set, and it's really hard. So I make mistakes playing it sometimes. It just is what it is. Yeah. The fingering for this one is just absolutely insane since it's from the piano score. So there's two voicings that you've got to keep track of the entire time you're playing, and it makes it a little bit harder. Big thanks to all the folks who've joined so far. I announced this at the beginning, and I'm sure you probably saw my pinned comment, but if you'd like to donate to this stream, you can donate through Facebook or Twitch or whatever, and I've also posted tip jars that donate to me directly, and then corporations don't get a cut of it. So probably shouldn't let them hear me say that, but an hour in, I don't think anybody from Twitch or Facebook corporate's paying attention anymore. Right, guys? Like, that couldn't be possible. Anywho, got some Irish jigs coming up for you. This first one's the cash. This next one, I actually found in one of my old Irish songbooks, and I was like, why don't people play this jig more often? It sounds like, a little bit unhinged compared to some of the other 6/8 jigs, but it sounds pretty freaking cool, honestly, in my opinion. So here's a Cape Breton jig. was nice having you on the stream, Jocelyn. Thanks for posting comments and keeping the chat engaged. Don't vape, kids. It's bad for you. And you look stupid. Look how stupid I just looked doing that. It's stupid. I told you I was going to say that every time. Well, you know, some way of saying that. Anyway, this is a more classic jig. You hear it a lot. As far as I understand, this one actually became the bassist for the sea shanty Drunken Sailor. I've seen people link the two together, which never like fully made sense to me. They sound like a little bit different, but there's definitely some motifs that are very similar. So this one is the swallowtail jig. So yeah, I don't know. You tell me. Does it sound like the Drunken Sailor? Does it not sound like the Drunken Sailor? I don't know. I think that first part, you know, it sounds kind of like the chorus, but the other section doesn't really sound like part of the Drunken Sailor to me. Anyway, next up, we've got a slip jig. This one's another super, super popular jig. It's called the butterfly jig. Those of you music nerds who like music theory and rhythm and all that fun stuff, it's in 9/8, which is, ooh, that's not 4/4, it's not 6/8. It's like not really hard to play. And I mean, unless you throw some odd measures in there. When I auditioned for Born of Osiris last summer, some of their songs had like alternating measures of like 11/8 and then like 9/8, and like where one measure is just like a different time signature, and there's like a couple of those in a row. Now that's really hard to play, man. Like doing that without a click in my ear was like impossible. But anyway, here's the butterfly jig. So yeah, that's the butterfly. You've probably heard it a bunch of times. Maybe you haven't heard the name of it, but another very, very famous jig. Fun fact, I've played that one at like Renaissance festivals and stuff, and I've had like flautists, what is it called, like the Irish tin flute, join in, and that's a lot of fun. I love when you're just jamming out some folk songs and people are like, oh, I know that song, and they just jump in and start playing with you. All right, this one's the last jig. It's another pretty famous one. I do it a little bit differently than I think a lot of people do, though. It's called Morrison's. So yeah, that one's Morrison's. Sometimes I like to play the song I played in the first set called King of the Fairies after that one, just because doing this like half step change just to like go into the next song, it just sounds really, really cool. But I didn't do that today because I'm practicing some set lists that I'll be playing on at a gig on February 19th over at Horrocks in Lansing, Michigan. If any of you guys, live in the States, live in Michigan, all that sort of stuff. I know most of my fan base is actually in Europe, which is crazy for someone in the U.S., but I have Ola England to thank for that and his Sunday with Ola riff challenge where we can all submit riffs over his drums and stuff. It's a really cool way for smaller musicians to grow a following and get people to actually start listening to their stuff. When I first started making music, I just wanted to release songs, right? And I wasn't very good at it, compared to how I am now, at least. So I'm sure that speaks to some of it too, but when you don't have a following, it's hard to get a following just posting music. So you got to do stuff like live streams and videos and covers and other content in order to, just get eyes on your original stuff. Speaking of original stuff, Queen of Transitions over here, maybe a double entendre. But I've got a new song called The Last War. It's out today. It's a folk metal song. It's an instrumental, but, it's not a boring instrumental. So hopefully you guys like it. If you like this kind of music, I think you'd enjoy it. Or if you like metal, it's great. I don't know. I watched a video of a YouTuber. He was ranking like metal subgenres. And anybody who's a big fan of metal like myself knows that there's more metal subgenres than there are genres of music at all, because we just keep making genres of music, making subgenres of metal. But when he was talking about folk metal, he was like, he ranked it as a C, which to me, folk metal is my favorite subgenre. I was like, that's blasphemy. But his reasoning behind it was that it has all the elements of folk, but not enough elements of the metal part. And, stepping back and thinking about that a little bit, someone who's also, a big fan of folk music, I kind of agree with him. A lot of the folk metal bands, even my favorite folk metal band, Eluveti, they're more folk than they are metal. And I've been trying to incorporate some more metal elements into the folk metal music. So this first song, The Last War, is kind of the product of that new thinking and some of my new composition styles and all that sort of stuff. I got the other one I'm working on that's going to come out either in February or March, depends on when I get it done, is called Endless Night. And it's a very similar idea. Keys you wouldn't expect to hear folk music in, diminished chords, stuff like that, which is very metal, but it's not very folk, right? So just like trying to blend the two genres together a little bit more than they've already been blended together. Chris over on Facebook asked if I have a TikTok. I do have a TikTok. Live streaming, this is my first time live streaming the 3 platforms. In the past, I've only live streamed to YouTube. And I do have to say it's paid off immensely. The live stream that has the most people on it right now is actually the Facebook live stream. So not to overshadow the other live streams, but that's just the one I'm getting the most comments in. Right at the moment, I've got some viewers over on Twitch as well, it looks like. But I am on TikTok. My username on TikTok is the same, but I've got a 0 for the O. So it's ZAR0CHI. And you'll be able to find me over there. Hopefully in the future, I'll be doing these live streams to TikTok too. It's just, I've got a big TV like up here that I can use when I'm like doing my videos and like working on tracking and stuff. So I can put like my DAW up there and just kind of like see what's going on. And right now I've got the 3 chats. So I've got the Facebook chat, the YouTube chat, and the Twitch chat. So I'm not sure how I'll work a 4th chat into it on like a panel I can easily look at, but we'll figure it out. I think it might be worth it. I've got some followers over there too. Anyway, enough chatting. Time to get back to the music. This next one is Travel Ever Onward. It's an original song that I wrote and I released like August of last year, something like that. Give or take. And there, that's it. That's just the song. Just kidding. So yeah, that's my original Travel Ever Onward. The recorded version on Spotify, Bandcamp, all that sort of stuff, I recorded on the mandolin, but there's more instruments in it, so it's, you know, a little bit more filled out. I did something a little bit sacrilegious. The song itself is actually in 5/4. I know the intro's not, it's in 4/4, but the rest of the song is in 5/4, mostly with the exception of that middle part that I think is in 6/8 or 6/4, one of the two, but it's in threes. But fun fact is I did most of the drums in like 4/4 over the top of it because it sounded like kind of cool. So it's got like a little bit of a polyrhythm thing going on there, like a 5/4. But don't really hear that a lot in folk music. Now, next up, I got another 6/8 song for y'all. This one, and it sounds a lot like a jig because it's a hornpipe. This one's the Sailor's Hornpipe. You might recognize it. I think it's the Popeye theme song, actually. So I've had a couple people recognize it from that. For me, I just started playing it because it was actually used in the intro for Botany Bay by one of the artists that I listened to. I'm forgetting the name of the artist right now, but it's I got into the hornpipe because I heard it in there, and I was originally covering that song, but I stopped doing a lot of the vocal songs live because my vocals just aren't that great, so I just keep a couple in there. But anyway, this is the Sailor's Hornpipe. All right, we got the coffee gone now. We're fully caffeinated. Getting toward the end of the stream. Unfortunately, just in time to be fully caffeinated. But I got one more song for you guys off my live set, and then I'm probably going to noodle a couple things. I thought of something while I was playing that I maybe want to touch on a little bit, since I've got actually a bunch of people over on Facebook, way more than I ever expected, which, thank you, by the way. The support counts so much. Again, I've got tip jars linked in the video descriptions on most of these, or in a pinned comment if you want to tip me directly. Also, there are, ways to contribute through streaming platforms. But, of course, I always appreciate people just watching me jam out. I mean, that's what music's about. It's about sharing. It's about playing music. Sometimes you got little mistakes in there during a live show or whatever. But if you're enjoying this and you live in Michigan, on February 19th, it's a Thursday, I'll be playing at Horrocks over here in Lansing. It'll be literally the same set you're hearing me play now, but, it'll be out in public. They got a greenhouse. You can buy, adult beverages there and all that fun stuff. But I know I've been plugging it a lot, but if I say it a bunch of times, then most of you will remember it. My new song, The Last War, was released today. It's up on all streaming services. It's not a folk song, it's a folk metal song. So if you like folk, you like metal, it's both those things together. What could you hate about it? This last song, we got some vocals in it. It is probably my crowd favorite, honestly, and how couldn't you like this song? It's the most famous song from a really awesome group of artists called the Dropkick Murphys. If you pay attention to, any news or media or anything like that, you'll see that the Dropkick Murphys are frequently on the right side of history, and they say a lot of good things. So I'm more than happy to play one of their songs. In fact, it's my honor to be able to do it. So, and it's the coolest song to play on bouzouki and mandolin. Everyone knows it. It gets recognized every bar, St. Patty's Day, whatever. You always got that one guy in the back who's like, woo! Yeah. But anywho, here it is. So yeah, that's I'm shipping up to Boston. Happy that I can sing and play that at the same time. It took some practice to get good at both, simultaneously, which is funny because I'm not really that great of a singer. But, those of you that play instruments know how hard it is to speak while you're playing the instrument, which is also why I don't really respond to chats while I'm in the middle of playing something because it's just distracting, right? So I always do my best to respond to chats afterward if I see anything in the stream chats. But that was the last song I had prepared for today, but I'm going to play a couple more things I've got a soapbox that I want to get on in just a minute, since I've got a bunch of people listening anyway. But I already showed how I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I don't usually play this at live shows. I use it for like sound checks and warm-ups and stuff, but I figured I'd just play it for you guys quick. So yeah, Song of Time. It's a fun song. You know, it's not the most exciting song in the world, so I usually don't include it in my sets, but gotta practice it or I'll forget how to play it. That's what matters, right, guys? All right, I'm gonna unplug this, and I'm actually gonna grab a guitar real quick and do one more thing for you guys. Now, those of you who maybe watch a lot of YouTube videos, I've seen that, like, lately there's been this trend where people will go and they'll find a famous guitarist who posts videos to YouTube and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, and they'll watch a bunch of their videos on super slowed down speeds to find all the little mistakes in the production. And you know, I'm going to be honest with you guys, unless you see that little live banner like you see right now for what I'm playing, whatever you're watching on the internet is produced. What does that mean exactly? So a lot of guitar players, when they create content, they sit in front of their digital audio workstation. For me, it's Reaper. I used to use Ableton. And they record the thing that they want to play. After they've recorded their song, or recorded whatever it is, they then record a video of them playing over that song. Now, the video could have some mistakes in it, and that's because the audio you're hearing is the audio that they produced in their digital audio workstation. Now, some people are saying that that's unethical, and to me, it's a gray area, right? So, we've had music videos forever. Metallica, back in the 70s, used to record some of their songs with their guitars down-tuned so that they could speed them up in post-production later to have it faster and more aggressive on the album. And I just think that a lot of these people are really naive for thinking that, you know, what they're seeing on the internet is just like a real live thing. Unless it's got that live icon on it and someone's actively live streaming, it's produced. And that's something important to remember. And the reason that it's produced is because people on the internet can be extremely judgmental. And if you have mistakes in your videos, you won't get views, you won't get shares, you won't get likes. You'll get comments of people calling out all your little mistakes. I posted some videos like this. I had one, I did the Second Heaven solo, forgetting the name of the band that plays it, Los Lonely Boys, because I was practicing it for my cover band, Orion's Note, at the time. And I just posted, I just did like 3 takes in front of my camera real quick, camera, audio, all that sort of stuff. I just wanted to show people what it was like and share the tabs for it. So, of course, there were like some little mistakes in there. And oh man, I posted it on the mandolin subreddit, and this one guy just jumped in there with all these judgmental comments. And finally I was like, well, you play it. The sheet music's right there in the video. You play it. Upload the video and show me you playing it, right? And he never did, because they never do, right? But, at the end of the day, it shows the duality that creators like me are facing. Now, I'll take a moment to talk about my personal process. Now, when I described how a lot of guitar creators create their content, that's not how I create my content. I feel that it doesn't enable me to be able to do a proper live show if I can't play fairly perfectly in one take. I mean, you guys just saw me play, for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. I made some mistakes, right? Like, not going to sugarcoat it. There were some mistakes in there, but like, who cares? It's a live show. Like, honestly, I probably noticed a bunch of stuff that you guys didn't even notice. If you're sitting there going, I don't remember hearing any mistakes, then that's great. I did my job as a musician, and I just kept going forward. And that's what you get at live shows sometimes, right? But in YouTube videos, you're not going to see that. Anyway, how I produce my videos. I have my DAW open, and I have it recording. I also have my camera running through OBS. I point the sound from my DAW into OBS so that I have a way to make sure that the videos are synced up and all that sort of stuff. When I do that, I usually record somewhere between, depends on how hard the song is or how hard the solo is or whatever, but I record between 10 and 20 takes. I save all of them, all the videos from them, all the audio from them. Then I go later, as I'm recording, I earmark the videos where I feel I performed the best and were most exciting to watch, right? Some of you who followed me for a long time have seen in my YouTube videos, I'll do like headbanging and stuff like that. And like, it's harder to play when you're doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes there's little mistakes. And what I end up doing then is I take that earmarked track, I comp it. Those of you who've done a lot of audio production know what I mean when I say comping, but I'll explain it for those of you who don't do audio production. That comping means you take one take and a second take and say there's a mistake in take one, but it's not in take two. And you use the audio from take two and you cut it on both ends. You fade it a little bit so that there's no sound, like clipping or like weird pops or anything like that. And then you put it in the audio for track one. So that's how I produce all of my videos. I do that with 2 tracks because I double track. I pan one to the left and I pan one to the right. But all the tracks that you hear are tracks that I took standing in front of this camera, recording all the way through. I don't punch in. I don't do any of that sort of stuff. Unless it's for like a background instrument that I'm not showing you on video, then I might punch in because it's just like easier and nobody's going to see it and I'm never going to have to play that part live. So it doesn't really matter. But I personally feel like it's a little bit more of an authentic way to generate this content and still have, you know, the perfectly produced videos that you see, you know, all over Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that fun stuff. But there's been some YouTubers lately who admittedly should know better and are going out and they're like brigading, quite frankly, artists who have this type of setup, the mimed setup, where they record it in their DAW earlier and then they record a video just playing over the audio that they recorded. And, you know, I'll leave it to you guys if you think that's dishonest or not. I don't really care. I think that at the end of the day, musicians, especially guitar players, myself included, I was this way for a little while, they get too hung up on like the skill level, how hard something is. Like, that's not what music's about. It's literally not what music's about. Music's about art. It's about creating. It's about sharing people. It's about enjoyment. It's about, you know, all you awesome people here who are watching my stream and seeing me create art in real time, or maybe just listening to it on your phone because it's music, right? But at the end of the day, I think anybody criticizing other guitar players for how talented they are is just, they've lost the plot, man. Like, they don't really know what music is anymore. And the saddest part about this whole thing is some of these people doing the criticizing are producers themselves. They've used these tricks. They've done these things. That's why they know this, right? That's why I'm able to tell you, right? Because I do production for my own stuff. I do all my own mixing and mastering. I do all my own recording. And it makes it, I think it makes it better. And, you know, paying for studio time, I would have went bankrupt already trying to pay for studio time to do all my videos. I had to learn it myself, right? In order to be able to do this stuff. So, in a roundabout way, that's my way of saying, like, the whole thing's stupid. And if you see people picking on other guitar players or other instrumentalists for whatever reason, like, call them out for it. Who cares? It's music. It's supposed to sound good. That's it. That's literally the whole point. That's the whole point. Production tricks have been used since they could record. In the 60s, people were pre-recording stuff and miming it on live television because when you're playing for live television, you don't want any mistakes because thousands or hundreds of thousands of people are watching you. It's not like I'm playing in the corner at some bar in some town and there's 4 people in the room. Like, who cares if 4 people hear me make a mistake or whatever? You know, right? But there are instances like putting your videos on the internet when it has to be perfect. And that's all these people are doing. They're doing the needful and they're doing what needs to be done to be heard. Now, all that being said, I'd be a huge hypocrite if I didn't prove that I'm not fake. Normally I don't like to use the clip-on tuner with this, but it's just going to be easier to make sure it's in tune. It's probably pretty close because it's a Floyd. All right, let me do a sound check real quick. When I stepped off screen out of the side, I was switching the model on my amp modeler to the metal guitar one, the one that I use for my live shows. So I'm gonna have to do a sound check. It might come through really, really loud because I haven't tried it before. So I'll fix it if it does. All right, so got the mix a little bit better. I got to turn on my monitors. I've actually been doing this entirely acoustically in my room because with the bouzouki, it just like plays the sound right, but the guitar doesn't really do that. So you guys can hear the distorted sound, but actually when I was doing that, I was just hearing like, you know, the acoustic electric guitar sound. You guys that are electric guitarists know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. But I'm going to mute my mic real quick, and then I'm going to play a guitar solo for you guys. There's a band that I think they started out in Royal Oak, Michigan. That's pretty popular. I like them a lot, but I just figured, I don't know, I'll play the solo for you guys, and you can judge for yourselves if you think I'm good at guitar or not. So yeah, there you go. A couple of mistakes, but you know, I can really play those really fast triplets and all that sort of stuff. If I was doing it for a video, again, like I said, I would take multiple takes, I would comp it, I would make sure it sounded perfect for you guys. But, you know, just for a live video, real quick, I don't know, like, it was fine. I've been practicing that solo a bit. It's not exactly where it needs to be, but when I'm practicing on my own in my room, you know, I nail the takes perfectly a decent amount of times. So yeah, to summarize the whole thing about the soapbox that I got on, music, it's good. People like art. Enjoy people's art. Don't judge people on their talent. Judge people on the content of their art and the content of their character. That's the end of the live stream for today. I'm going to thank all of you for showing up. I have some folks on Twitch. I've got a bunch of folks on Facebook. No one on YouTube, ironically, which is where my biggest following is. But this will be put up on YouTube later. I post any streams that I recorded up on YouTube. So if anybody's watching and wants to check maybe a piece of the performance that you missed, or want to hear me go over my soapbox again about how guitar isn't about how good you are at guitar, then, go for it or whatever. I'm surprised my concurrent streamers didn't all just drop when I started on a rant. So I guess it must have been entertaining enough. But anyhow, it's been a great Wednesday. I hope you all stay safe out there. It's a dangerous world right now. And as always, stay heavy, my friends.